Hey guys, I wanted to make a quick video on how I've gotten my Lay on Hands cooldown down to 2 minutes. This requires a couple of specific in-game items, so not every Holy Paladin can currently do this unless they have the following items. First is Tyr's Hand of Faith, legendary plate gloves that reduce the cooldown of Lay on Hands by 60%. I personally got my gloves off of Heroic Scenarius and the Emerald Nightmare raid. However, as you may be aware, legendary items can drop from dungeons, raids, world quests, PvP strongboxes, and a bunch more. The next item that you'll need is Bioluminescent Mushroom, which is a life relic. It adds another rank to your focused healing to reduce the cooldown of Lay on Hands by 10% per rank, for up to 40% total. This particular item is dropped off Terrar in the Emerald Nightmare from the Dragons of Nightmare encounter. If you have these two items, you can also use your Unbreakable Spirit Tier 2 talent that will reduce your cooldown by an additional 30%. Now, not to be confusing, all of these cooldown reductions are multiplicative, not additive. So what exactly does that mean? Well, additive is when numbers are simply added together. So in this case, if it were additive, my Lay on Hands cooldown would technically be instant, which clearly isn't the case. And what I mean by that is you would basically add the 60% cooldown reduction from the Tyr's Hand of Faith, and add that to the 40% from the relic slot, and then the other 30% from the tier talent. That would basically add up to a 130% cooldown reduction, therefore making it instant. And clearly, as we can see, it's not instant, so that is not the case. So what multiplicative means is that all of the numbers are basically multiplied together. So in my case, the 60%, the 40%, and the 30% would be added together, I don't know, some decimal points moved over to somehow get the cooldown reduction from 10 minutes to 2 minutes. I can't explain to you the actual way because, math. Anyhow, the point is, don't really take this as a guide or my recommendation for the best Holy Paladin build. I simply wanted to demonstrate how I got my cooldown reduction to be so low. Now, what is this good for? In terms of utility, I found it useful in Mythic Pluses, as well as oh shit moments during raiding. The one thing to be careful of is that Lay on Hands does grant forbearance to the target, so if you have a Paladin tank, for instance, who wants to bubble or use Blessing of Protection for some reason at any specific fight, just be aware of that when you use Lay on Hands so frequently. I've tested this out on the PTR, Public Test Realm, for patch 7.1.5, and my cooldown reduction did not change, so that's something to keep in mind, that it's not going to get nerfed or updated in any kind of way in the future. Or the near future, at least.